Starting out on a spooky note. I'm counting all my P's and Q's right now, so I can't see chat just yet. Although I don't think anyone's in yet. I know this. This is the fucking this is the demo disc thing that Caddy talked about that one time. Womp, womp. Womp, womp. Okay. And the link worked, right? It sure does. Okay, great. How do I make posts on Blue Sky? How the fuck do I do any of this? Streaming comic. Really a web comic. Commission? Yeah, that's good. Yep. Merry Christmas and Happy New Year. And hello, Orphle. Welcome. Thank you for stopping by. Appreciate ya as always. Yeah, okay. Stream does work. All right. Yeah, I have some very, like, epic music this time around. I just looked up, like, PlayStation 1 music because most of the time the PS1 doesn't burn me with copyright. But this particular playlist is so, like, bum ba da dum dum bum 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 dum bum bum. Like, it's so much. I don't know. It may be, like, too much for my what is supposed to be like a chill drawing stream, but we will see. For now, it doesn't bother me too much. I think what always bothers me more is like, not so much my discomfort, because I feel like maybe this is, you know, the wrong kind of thinking, but I always think, like, I'll be fine, I'll get over it. Like, nothing bothers me, I'll get over it, which is not a good or healthy way to live or think of anything. But as soon as it, like, bothers the audience, then me as an entertainer, I start thinking, oh god, oh, I fucked up, oh, no. I gotta figure out how to correct this. I like, very often, I catch myself putting other people's needs above my own, which I will say, you know, I'm sure a lot of people actually can relate to that. A lot of people may find that hashtag relatable. It's not actually, like, a good thing. It's absolutely a thing you should be working to not do. It is a poor way to live, so don't get too caught up in like, you know, poor life habits just because it makes other people laugh. I guarantee most people are laughing because they also are suffering, and the both of you may be better if you just don't. If maybe you just stop and just, like, make out with each other or something, you know. I don't know. I like that much of the process is like far too personal. Maybe making out with the other person could help you. In my experience, making out has often been a relaxing scenario, but I can't guarantee it for everyone. What the fuck is this? Wait a minute, this isn't PlayStation 1. This is Future Funk Nonstop Mick. You know what? Fuck this playlist. They wanna get funky with me. I heard it, and the second I heard it, I was like, wait a minute. Let's see. Let's do the one that I always do. We're like halfway through Medieval right now. Doink. All right. Making out. Hello. What have I just entered into? Why do I like where it's going? I was saying making out is a proper de-stressor. Although I should include the caveat, so long as everyone's consenting, you know? Some people may say, oh, that goes without saying. I don't know. I feel like some people do not think it goes without saying. So I'm just gonna put it in here. Be safe, you know, about it. Just you know, little thing in there. If you're gonna make out, ask first. And then if everyone's chill with it, make out. So I just feel like this is from rival schools, but it makes me feel like I'm like about to go sneak around. Steal somebody's ass. You know what game I've been playing lately, though? All that being said, you know what game I've been playing lately? I've been playing Chrono Trigger. And let me tell you, I originally played that game on the DS. On the, you know, there's a DS port of it. And I remembered really, really liking it. That was at the time where I also had a 3DS, but got my hands on, like, the DS Chrono Trigger. So I was kind of like jumping back and forth between the two consoles. So this must have been like 2015 or something. And in 2015, I also had, or actually, someone else can maybe correct me, because if they know the date better than I do, then then y'all can correct me. But it was whenever that 3DS Majora's Mask game came out. Remember that? I quite like that remake. The thing is, I've never like fully beaten it though. Not because I dislike Majora's Mask, far from it. I played Majora's Mask to full-on completion, and so now going back to it feels like a little weird. It's like, oh man, do I need to wait a bit of time before playing it again? Playing it on the 3DS is like kind of fascinating, but at the same time, it's like it's just Majora's Mask, and I've like played it 100,000 times, so it's like it feels almost wrong. It feels like haven't I been here before? Came out 2015. Okay, shit. You know what? I was right then, wasn't I? But yeah, so yeah. But let's talk about Chrono Trigger. I initially was like playing Chrono Trigger, enjoying it, like trying to like kind of get into the story, but for whatever reason, that point in my life, I just was not really feeling like old Super Nintendo RPG games. For what it's worth, I do remember enjoying myself playing Chrono Trigger for a bit, but I was just like pulled away to other games and other interests. In fact, 2015 might have been the time when I was really getting into my art life. And so quite a lot of video games I just kind of dropped because of a lack of interest. Now, I have a Steam Deck, and I'm going back to a lot of old retro games. I think like the last game that I officially beat on my Steam Deck not too long ago was Symphony of the Night once again. And I did that because I wanted to like feel as though I was completing my past games that I already beat. I also went back and replayed Lord of the Rings: The Two Towers. And funnily enough, I'll talk about that one in a sec, but going back and beating Symphony of the Night again, it felt like honestly great. I was very nostalgic for it because I did that review of Symphony of the Night. And so in that way, it was, you know, nice to like go back. It was also just fun to experience a classic yet again. And I had that urge of like, oh man, there's a lot of classics that I haven't really gotten into or fully beaten. Some that I've started, but never fully got into. Mostly RPGs. And so I was going through all the RPGs and I was thinking like, oh, do I want to do Final no. Do I want to do Final Fantasy VII? Which is an RPG that I constantly start and never, ever, ever beat. Like, it's a lovely RPG and I dig it a lot. For some reason, though, like, I get to a point where I'm just like, either it's too long or I'm just not interested anymore. But I just get bored somewhere down the line and I just never finish it, which is a shame because there's a lot to appreciate about 7, but I just never beat it. And in fact, I remembered a couple of times on this channel saying, oh yeah, guys, I'm going to beat Final Fantasy VII. I'm going to go in and like just hammer away at it over the course of several years, maybe. And eventually I will beat the game. And even then I didn't stick to it. Something about that game. Maybe I just will never beat it. It's not a big deal, but Chrono Trigger is different. Chrono Trigger is like way shorter than 7, I'm pretty sure. And it's got that fun quality of Super Nintendo RPGs where it's not that convoluted. The longer RPGs went on, the more convoluted they got, I feel. They were way too sucked into like cutscenes. They're way too sucked in on like heavy dialogue. There's a couple of like modern RPGs I can think of where it's just like cutscene city. In fact, some of the most recent Final Fantasy games are just these long ass fucking movies. And on the one hand, I'm kind of okay with that. I love Metal Gear Solid, and I loved their long ass cutscenes. I was genuinely just like watching that shit, being like, yeah, sure, all right, bring me in, fuck me up, Hideo. But what kills me is that the stories are not fucking interesting at all. They are not interesting at all. And then you have like all of this dialogue. So it's like, if you're giving me a huge ass book and most of the book sucks, my eyes are gonna glaze over. For Chrono Trigger, it's actually a very, very simple story, which is what makes it so compelling. Like, the game starts and you're just like some guy, right? Who you can just name like whatever. It doesn't matter. Similar to like, you know, the earliest Legend of Zelda games. You're just some guy. And you're some guy that knows how to fight, sure, and are as capable as the player is capable, but that's kind of it. And then you, through, you know, both a linear story and a little bit of your own, like, creativity, get wrapped up in this crazy fantasy anime adventure. And it's very tropey. It is very tropey. It follows a lot of those, like, 1990s anime tropes, for sure. But it's so earnest in its execution that I think it works. And I think it works really, really well, too. You have shit like, you know, oh, you go to the future, but it's the evil future, like Terminator 2, and there's like bad dudes with huge mohawks that are riding on motorcycles, and their motorcycle, or rather their car, is themselves. Like, their entire body is a car. And it's like, they follow the tropes, and then they just kind of throw in their own little creativity. Like, again, Terminator 2 style, horrifying apocalypse world. Yeah, okay, sure, I've seen that like a million times. Especially when it comes to like time travel movies. Lots of people are like, oh, the future's terrible, we have to fix it in the past. Back to the Future was not an apocalypse story, but it was similar. And then they throw in shit like, oh, this gang turns into cars, like, and the familiarity of these tropey subjects is used as the backdrop for greater creativity. The characters are what you really get sucked into in this familiar space, and Chrono Trigger does that better than like most classic. That's probably why it is a classic, is because it doesn't shoot too far that it becomes like pretentious or convoluted or confusing, which honestly Final Fantasy VII sometimes does. The back half of the game, the plot is just nonsense. You will get easily so confused on what the hell's going on with all the characters and everything. Sorry, Mario. I had a lot of thoughts there, clearly. Oh, yeah, bringing, honestly, yeah, like bringing 3DS Majora's Mask and Ocarina of Time with a gyroscope would be fucking epic, and I would love that. I think the Switch is gonna go on long enough. They're making a Switch 2. I've heard about that. That I think they're eventually going to make like a separate store that's like the 3DS store or something, and then they're just gonna make a bunch of 3DS games, which I fucking hope, or just port it, like whatever. There are quite a few 3DS games that are great in concept and not great in execution. Kid Icarus Uprising is a fantastic example of that. Tried Skyrim, Fallout 3, New Vegas, Starfield. Well, Starfield's a shit, so just give up after the first 5 or 6 hours and then I don't return without a full reset. I agree. Bethesda RPGs are like really weird because depending on the RPG, you either start the game and they just throw you into the world. Like New Vegas is a bit better about that. Skyrim is like kind of good about that. Like no. Now that I think about it now, there's like a lot of tutorial before you start Skyrim in earnest. Elder Scrolls Morrowind is pretty quick to set you up. You go through like a character creator, but that goes by like really fast, and then you're just in it. So there's like what I'm trying to say is there's a few Bethesda games that throw you into the thick of it, and I feel like those are a lot easier to get into. And the ones that kill me are the ones that have the long fucking... It was like I was saying a second ago. The ones that are so fucking caught up on their story that's not very good, and so they give you hours and hours of conversation, dialogue, yada yada. Like Fallout 3... Some people will argue, and I kind of agree, that Fallout 3 has like an iconic opening where you watch yourself literally grow from like birth through childhood, through your teenage life to your young adult life, which leads to you exiting the vault. And there is something really rewarding and fun about that to experience the first time. Since then, you would just want to go through that whole growing up sequence just to do different dialogue choices, and even then, it becomes a fucking slog. That by the time you get out to the wasteland, I don't know, it feels a little awkward. It doesn't feel like, oh wow, the world is my oyster. It's sort of like, man, I was following a linear narrative and now it's an open world? Well, okay. Like quite often in Fallout 3, which I did have fun with Fallout 3, full stop. But as soon as I am like, given full range, I'm a little lost and I'm not quite sure like where to start. If you play it long enough, you will eventually get there, but I can see people getting stuck on like just where to go, and that being the perfect excuse to turn the game off and never look back. Which is a shame, but that is also the risk you run when you make an open world game. That was me with Tears of the Kingdom. I was playing it for a while and I was having fun with it, but then like, I don't know. I suddenly hit a point where I'm just like, I don't want to play an open world game right now. I want to play more linear games. I know, in retrospect, some people have been really giving shit to Tears of the Kingdom, which is a shame. I thought that it looked pretty good and was pretty fun when it came out. I've heard what some people have said, though, that it is not different enough from Breath of the Wild to really get too excited about. I don't know. I could definitely see that. I'm not mad at it or anything. Yeah, like the vanilla. Oh, hey, Happy New Year. The. Hey, yo, homie. Stylinide. I don't see your comment. Son of a bitch. Oh, there it is. What the fuck? Oh, I got 4 people watching on Twitch. Hello, everyone. So I briefly opened up my Twitch just to get the chat, because I don't want to have like a bunch of windows open. Hello. Hope New Year's treated you well. My year was a bunch of like ups and downs. Best part is that my partner has officially moved in, which is great. I'm mostly just focusing on that and looking forward to the future in the best way that I can. We were just talking about like RPGs and stuff. No, yeah, like going back to what you were saying, Mario. Yeah, it's kind of weird. Like it feels like people don't get into most Bethesda games without a certain degree of modding. And I don't know if a lot of people contest that opinion. That was like the feeling with Starfield. Like when that came out, there was a lot of talk of, oh yeah, well once you put mods in, it's like an 8 out of 10 experience. And it's like, well, great. Should Bethesda games be lauded for that? What have they done correctly, if that is the case? New Year's celebration, easy going. Caught up with some friends and watched House and the Fly. House on the Fly, what is that? House on the Fly. Because I don't know if I've ever heard of that. But yeah, no, like... I do love modding, though. So I'm not about to shit on, like, the modding scene or anything. It becomes like a discussion of, okay, what am I celebrating here? Am I celebrating the modding community that's able to take this game that's not very good and make it good through mods? Because I still need to pay upwards of $70 to get the base game before I get the mod game. And it's only the mods and the gaming community that actually makes it fun. So it's like, why am I giving this company any money at all? Right? Right? Or is there a good main game in here and modding is good for like a second life? That's how I felt about A Hat in Time. And what quite a few people told me was kind of the A Hat in Time experience. Like, you play it, you play just the base game, and you have like a great time. You go through the full campaign and you do like all the challenges if you want to, but once you start getting bored of A Hat in Time, then you can start getting like mods and starting to go like a little crazy with, you know, different worlds or like different self-imposed challenges, yada yada, that kind of stuff. And I agree. I went back to A Hat in Time. I love that game, but when you go through the same campaign like once or twice, you start thinking, okay, is there like a fresh way that I could experience this? Because I love the way it plays, but these are the same levels, like, you know. DLC also fills that hole. I definitely had that with A Hat in Time's DLC. But what I see a lot with Bethesda games is that right out the gate, it's just a really underwhelming experience until you start putting on mods. For the sake of like just quality of life features. It's amazing how unoptimized those games truly are. My bad, wrote that kind of weird. 2 separate films. Oh, Hausu. Okay, I know that one. The Fly, David Cronenberg. Yes. Yes. Okay. I saw House, and then I fell asleep. Oh, what? Ooh. At least with Starfield, they add in free content to improve the experience. Big issue with the game was traversing on foot around planets. They added an off-road buggy to ride in. And as a Game Pass player who has access to Starfield, I can vouch the majority of the mods for the game are just Star Wars related ones. Kind of meh for a creativity standpoint. Okay. I have a question. How are you doing today? I'm doing well. Thank you very much. Yeah, I mean, all around, I have been very underwhelmed by Starfield. Everything everyone tells me, both people defending it and otherwise, just are not painting a great picture for me. Especially because now I'm playing Morrowind, and I'm having like a great time with that. Morrowind is also a game that requires mods, namely a mod to fix the fucking sprinting, because the sprinting in the base game is shit and awful. And when you go to the fucking forums to ask people, hey, has anyone made a mod for sprinting? You'll find it. You will find a mod, but you have to go through some people that are like, now, why do you want to get rid of the sprinting? Why do you want to change the game at all? The base game of Morrowind is perfect. Why are you complaining so much? Why do you want a mod to make it so sprinting is just normal like any other game? Why do you choose to do that, bitch? And I'm just like, guys, shut the fuck up. There is a real, like, purity community. Not all of them, because clearly people made, like, the mods I was looking for. But I really, really hate the types of people that look at old games and are like, all of these really annoying mechanics that do not feel like satisfying or good in the modern day, in the face of modern day quality of life features. All of those were put there on purpose. This game is not old or dated or made any mistakes ever. Just stop complaining. Shut up. And I'm like, okay, look, no. You're completely fucking wrong. No. Even if certain mechanics were put into the game on purpose, I would just make the claim that they were a bad call. For example, and a lot of people are going to disagree with me on this. I know it because I've already brought it up before and people disagreed with me on this. In fucking Demon Souls, when you die, you lose, like, half of your health. Like, half your health bar is just gone now. When you die and come back to life, half of your health bar is gone. And you can only get it back by defeating an entire boss, I believe. And then once you defeat the boss, the bar goes all the way back up until you die again, and then it goes down to half. I complained about this online, and a bunch of frightening goblins came out the woodworks to be like, look, it's intended design, okay? They put it there on purpose because they're... Anyway, you can get a ring, and if you put on the ring, then you won't lose half your health. You'll just lose, like, a quarter of it.
So instead of your health bar looking like this, it looks like this. And your full health bar looks like this. And I'm like, is there any way to turn this off? No. This is fucking stupid. It's the most like arbitrary way to make things difficult, and I hate it. And even From Software knows that it's shit because they did not put it in any other Souls games going forward, as far as I know. It was not in Dark Souls 1 or 2 or 3 or Elden Ring. It wasn't in Bloodborne. It wasn't in Sekiro. I've played all of these games. I don't remember that shit being in any of them because it was dumb. What? Why? Yeah, why indeed? Why the fuck was that ever a thing? That sucked. And then in the the PS5 re-release for it, you would think they would at least give you the option to turn it off. No. It's intended design, guys. Deal with it. And I'm just like, oh my god, this shit's so annoying. I'm sure it would affect the difficulty somehow, but I don't give a shit. Just give me a code or something. What's wrong with cheat codes? It's clearly a bad idea. Like, are you out of your mind? Anyway, hold on. Anyway, Stylonite, sorry. I went on a Dark Souls rant, can you believe it? I put it to a vote and both picks were filmed from the pile I brought over, so I thought thoroughly both alternatives between watching and playing stuff on the Oh, that rocks. That is so sweet. Yeah, no, I had a very, very chill, don't worry, you didn't miss anything. You didn't miss anything. Yeah, no, for New Year's, it was very chill for me. We watched that one dopey Christian propaganda film, Left Behind. Best known for being like a Christian propaganda film that was honestly like decently well produced. There's a couple of shots that look really, really amazingly bad, but for the most part, it's like a competently made film. Sure, yeah, okay. It's certainly not as impressive as other movies that came out at the time, and the story is dumb. It's just about the rapture, right? The first half of the movie is genuinely like really funny, and then the second half of the movie is just really boring, and a bunch of characters that had personalities just suddenly stop having them because they became religious, and I just, God, I was falling asleep by the tail end. I nearly missed New Year's because I kept falling asleep watching this dumbass movie. I'm glad I did, though. My partner and I had been talking for a while about watching it, and yeah, we finally did. Finally got around to it, and it was pretty good. We liked it. It was pretty good. Except for when it was boring and it put me to sleep. There's a fucking hilarious bit at the start where a bunch of like clearly CGI tanks and planes are just like rolling through a desert as you see like real live action people going, oh my god, whoa, it's a tank, it's a plane. It looks exactly like it's out of Birdemic. It's insane. And I was hoping the whole movie would be like that. And then no, it wasn't. Anyways, maybe remember we closed screening of The Room. We also talked about watching The Room. We didn't do it though. We only had time for like one movie before New Year's happened. All too tired. I feel that. That was me with Left Behind. It's pretty much just Humanity / Embers in the future Souls series, aside from Bloodborne. Much easier to use since it was an abundant consumption. Yeah, no. Like, the Souls games are really well made. They're, like, the Souls games are obviously, like, super duper, like, competently made. And the more they, you know, added onto and polished the formula, I think the more fun the games became. I mean, people love Elden Ring. People are all over Elden Ring. They fucking adore it. That's a super successful property. And like Bloodborne is if you ever doubt the like passion that people have and the quality of a Souls-like game, of a really good Souls-like, if you ever like just wonder like, oh, it can't possibly be that bad. Like, why do people obsess about this? I have heard multiple stories of people either trying to emulate or just straight up buy a PS4 just so they can play Bloodborne. That's it. Like, people spend like hundreds and hundreds of dollars just to play Bloodborne because it's not on anything other than a PS4. People have had to like either like rework their computer, get the PS4 emulator thing, I don't know what it's called, to work, which I've heard it's kind of notoriously difficult, or spend a bunch of money just to get a PS4 and to get Bloodborne just to play it because it's just that fucking good. The Souls games like do a wonderful job, but oh my god, that doesn't mean Demon Souls is good at all. I think like the level design in Demon Souls is perfectly fine and in line with the rest of the Souls games. I just fucking hate that mechanic of losing half your health. That's so dumb. If they got rid of that, I would love to go and play that game. Some people who are more patient than I have like gone through the whole game after like, you know, never playing it once in their life. And people have told me like, oh yeah, no, the game is like really cool and good. But I'm sorry, I'm never gonna give it a try so long as it has that stupid mechanic. If someone could like tell me how to code it out of the game, I'd take a crack at that before I play it again. And I have Dark Souls for the PS3. So I fucking could play that game. But quite frankly, I don't wanna, because it's dumb. There, I said it. Suck on that, Miyazaki-san. More like Miyazaki-chan. Boom, got him. Fucking dumb. What's the chat saying? Chat's very lively today. Hello, everyone. Left Behind series, the Dark Souls of Chris. Oh, please, someone make a Souls like a Left Behind. I would love that. There's a remake of Left Behind that stars Nicolas Cage. Really? Is it good? Speaking of Souls, I almost recommend Lies of P because the first of the game is super good, but the second half is, my god, it's so frustrating with the bosses getting a second phase with reset health. I've heard that. You know, that is something that Souls games do a lot that I do not agree with. I've heard like multiple people complain about Souls likes having like second phases that just feel really annoying and cheap. And I get it. I get that for sure. I hate that shit. I hate that shit when they pull it in like RPGs, especially. Once again, I've been playing Chrono Trigger, and every now and then where there will be like a boss where I'm just like, how big is your fucking health bar? God damn it, just die already. And then it looks like he's gonna die. Looks like he's gonna die. And then nope, he just gets right back up. Oh, Shad PS4 is pretty good nowadays. I've never fiddled with it, so I would not know. Tool around with emulating BB out of curiosity and yeah, getting fairly accessible. Pretty good. You could cheat in more HP via emulators. Also an item dupe glitch you could use. You know what? What I was saying earlier, I don't know if you were there for it, Stylenoid, excuse me. But I was saying that games have like a good half-life when you're installing mods to them. And it's actually like a bad sign if you need to install mods to make a game good. That being said, I think Demon Souls would be pretty good if you installed mods to get rid of that stupid fucking health mechanic. I would do that. I'd do the fuck out of that.
I've been playing so many emulated games on my Steam Deck. I love that shit so much. I nearly paid like $1,000 fucking for that Steam Deck, but it is worth it. It runs games way better than my computer does. And I can just stream all of those emulated games off my Steam Deck onto my computer when I want to like do a stream. So yeah, it's awesome. It's a real like game console for the people, you know what I mean? It's probably the exact kind of game console people want in this day and age. One that can play like basically every game. And that includes Nintendo games, if you know what I mean. I'm sorry, I've been neglecting chat. Reminder that Bluepoint Games and Sony's remake of Demon's Souls were owned entirely by Sony. So From Software didn't get a cent of money from the... Oh, what? They didn't get any money. Oh, what? Steam Deck, proof that dedicated gaming hardware is king. Saying, just fucking saying. Stylonoid, famed Domino's pizza. Is that real? Oh, wait a minute. I was fucking... I'm so blind. I probably have dyslexia. Stylonoid. Stylonoid, most famous for going into a Pizza Hut and getting shot to death by the cops. Oh, sadness. Set up the PC ports of Jak 1 and 2, yeah! And Super Mario 64, yeah! I've not set up Jak 1 and 2, but I have set up Mario 64. Love it. Love that shit. I'm struggling to set up Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and Star Fox 64, the PC ports, but those are like a little more new. Well, not Ocarina of Time. The Majora's Mask one is a little new, so there's like special instructions for installation, I hear. Yeah! Let him I would appreciate it, sure. Maybe not right now, but yeah. They were... I really want to get into Jak 1, 2, and I guess 3 if they ever make a PC port of 3. Because I've always been fascinated by that series. Jak and Daxter is like the type of series that has like a lot going for it, but it changes genre a lot. So it's kind of weird, but at the same time, people really vibe with it changing genres. So clearly it's doing something right. It was like one of the few games that went the dark and gritty route, and most people seem to like it, actually. It's weird. Oh man, you know what I need to beat and finish streaming is Silent Hill 2. I completely left that in the dust. Yeah, sorry about that. I completely disappeared for a while because of personal things. Totally not the election. That just made me really fucking depressed. But I had to take a break from streaming for a bit. Now I'm back, so it's good. Sounds nice. It does sound nice. All this music is real good. Jak and Daxter is a reminder that Naughty Dog used to make games. Oh, poor Naughty Dog. I don't play any of their games, but yeah, poor Naughty Dog. 3's in the works. Okay. Jak's great. X and Daxter are worth your time too. Mm-hmm. It's comedy, I think it's kind of... Yeah, that was what was so weird about Jak 1, is it felt like it was ripping off Banjo-Kazooie, but it had like its own thing too. But even then, the whole collectathon thing for Jak and Daxter felt like kind of weird and played out like they didn't really
stick it. They didn't quite have a proper identity with that one. And it fell in line with other games like, I don't know, Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, where that too was just a great big collectathon that didn't have a lot of like real identity going for itself. I'll be real. Ty the Tasmanian Tiger, I geeked out about. I loved it visually, and I love the character designs. I love the music. There was so much about Ty that I loved. Honestly, I think it's a very charming game, but as a like lasting video game, one that people will remember for the ages, I don't think Ty is it. And I don't think Jak 1 was really pushing the envelope with that first game. It had a lot of potential, clearly, because they then moved on to other styles. And those other styles worked. Those other styles were just like real, like compelling. The whole like, you know, expanding the greater world, kind of going like the dark and gritty route, just a little bit. And making the world like still feel kind of wacky while still making it compelling. It's like how Ratchet and Clank is, right? Where it's a dark-ish narrative that still leaves a lot of room for jokes. Ratchet and Clank's really jokey, though. Have I seen the new game trailers? Intergalactic, the Heretic Prophet. It just looks so detached from quality. Like, I get it. First trailer, plenty of time to show more, but just based on what it's trying to go for, it doesn't look like it's a worthwhile experience. I've never even heard of this. Intergalactic, the Heretic property? Or the Heretic Prophet? Is this Naughty Dog, or is this just like a game that's coming out soon? Ah, you know, you're so right. 2 did feel quite a bit like Grand Theft Auto 3. I was really struggling to run Grand Theft Auto 3 on my Steam Deck, by the way. Not that the game wasn't working. For some reason, EmuDeck wasn't taking the file. Like, I had to do a bunch of like renaming of my folders just to make the EmuDeck see it and actually add it to my categories list. That was weird, but I got it to work. Maybe I'll stream Grand Theft Auto 3. Omicron. Oh, Omicron. I love it. That terrible game made by that terrible person. You know, if you're running them with mods, running it directly would probably work a lot better. I really love the convenience of EmuDeck, though. Like, I just go through a list. The list looks like really nice and pristine, and I can just be like, what game am I going to play? This one. And the games run like really well. The only one that doesn't for some reason is the 360 emulator. My Xbox 360 emulator, for some reason, I have the games in a list and I have the emulator, but EmuDeck doesn't add them to the list. And I don't know what to do about that. I've looked at other like tutorials and nobody seems to say like, yeah, I have the same exact problem. Everyone's just like, you know, wow, I love the 360 on my Steam Deck. So it's like clearly people get it to work. I'm just doing something wrong. I don't know. I'm still learning. I'm still learning how to install everything onto that Steam Deck. I go through phases where I'm just like, oh, I want to do like all this work and figure out how to install this and that and yada yada, or like add mods to this game or that. And every now and then I have to shake myself to life and be like, dude, you also should play the games. Like, I spend a great deal of time just adding a bunch of shit to my games and I never play them, which just feels so wrong. And I'm like, well, that's the point though, isn't it? Like, I should be playing them. Naughty Dough. It's Naughty Dough! Except Omicron had David Bowie in it, so that automatically makes it good, despite the fact Omicron is crap. Very well put. That's right, they're making that Star Wars Eclipse game, which is taking years. I hope it never comes out. Fuck that guy. The last good thing they made was, Detroit Become Human, and it wasn't even good, but I was entertained. The fact that it has them to your library with full orbs. Oh yeah, no, super helpful. Yeah, I got the 1 terabyte model as well. Yeah, no, like 360, it works on the deck. Here's the deal. I can like go to my library and then open up the 360 emulator. And then from there I can just pick a game. So it's not impossible. It's just like, how come it doesn't just like work like the rest of them? Like, what am I doing wrong? Right? Anyway. Oh, Sonic 1 and 2. I love them. I really do. I'm struggling to run mods on Sonic 2, and it's like there's instructions for it and everything. For some reason there's something that there's something up with my deck. I think I installed something backwards and I need to like do a complete wipe of Sonic Adventure 2, like just delete all files associated with it and try over again, because for some reason it says like some file or something is missing, and I don't know. I also just like playing Sonic Adventure 2 vanilla. Like, I don't mind it. Yeah. It's the fucking launcher. I can't even start it because it says like, oh, such and such Windows thing is not properly installed, because, you know, it's a Steam Deck, so you need to install like these like Windows programs that are not, you know, automatically installed because it's Linux based. I've been having like a fine time playing it and getting around it without the help of like a bunch of Windows stuff. But every now and then you'll hit that one game, an older game, where you need to do a bunch of crap just to get it to work. And it's it's something, all right. Sure, yeah, give me a ring sometime, and perhaps you could help me out. I can even, by way of my Elgato, I can hook up the screen of my Steam Deck to the computer so I could actually show you what I'm looking at. Jason! Have you, Mario, you've definitely seen the same video I have, right? Where somebody like broke the game. There's some glitch in the game where every time he hits the X button, no matter what cutscene is playing, if he hits the X button, the main character just starts yelling Sean. And so there's like the ending cutscene where he sees Sean and he's like pulling him out of this big like pool of water, and the kids are like, "Oh my god, Dad, I was so scared, and you saved me." And then the dad just looks down and is holding his head, and he's just like, Sean! I fucking love it. I wonder if I should just look that video up. That shit's so great. Ah, yes. I got a dock for my deck and used it at work with students. Got them playing tech. Ooh, hell yeah. Super Hexagon? What is Super Hexagon? That glitch is so fucking funny. It's just, oh god, injected into my veins. I love it. That game has, it's not an especially glitchy game. It's pretty like straightforward, so it doesn't like break too much. Like, it's not like an open world game or whatever, but every now and then it will just like break, and I love all the glitches in Heavy Rain. Heavy Rain was good, you know. Say what you will about David Cage. Many have, and many should, because he's just a really bad person. But that aside, Heavy Rain was like one of those games that I really loved when it came out. It was like, I was so sucked into just the world, just everything about it. I was just in love. I was so fascinated by this idea of like a crime drama that felt so much like a movie. It really like stuck to its style, and it tried like a bunch of different techniques to make it feel extra like interactive and whatever. A lot of those game mechanics have not aged great, and people are to this day kind of just like,
whatever. Like, oh man, for the first hour of the game, get ready for extreme table placing. Put the plate down on the table, fill up the balloon, play fight with your son, and either pretend to lose or beat the crap out of your child. Which, I mean, that part was pretty funny. That part was pretty funny. There's a great Donkey video where he just beats up the children in Heavy Rain. Oh, Rhythm Stone, we can just survive against the cloud. BRB, right? Totally. Oh, big water time. You gotta love those nice, like, arcadey style games. But there's no story, there's none of that. You just go in and you're just gaming. Like, immediately, you're just gaming. When I was younger, I was really, really into, like, the story of the video game. And I mean, to this day, if there's a good story to be had, then yeah, I'd definitely get into it. But I really value a game that I can just pick up and play, that I can just start immediately. God, you know what's still... Speaking of rhythm games, you know what's still a really good rhythm game is Hi-Fi Rush. That shit deserved all the money in the world. That shit was so fucking cool. Like, my God. It got so much right with that game, you know? It was fun. It was stylish. It's like a great fighting game, a great beat-em-up game, and a great rhythm game. It took a game mechanic that honestly felt very fresh and, like, didn't overstay its welcome. Like this idea of combining, like, beat-em-up hack and slash mechanics with rhythm game qualities, and then they just made it, you know, fun story where you just go from like a sequence of challenges and rooms, bosses and whatnot, all just stretching the concept of hack and slash beat 'em up rhythm. And when it finally got through, like the best that it could show, the game was over. It didn't overstay its welcome. It didn't pinch your pennies so that they could sell you some bullshit that you didn't want. It was just a fun video game. Fuck yeah. Hi-Fi Rush and games like it should honestly be celebrated because those are games that are just so damn cool. I will play that game 100 times over, and I will never play Helldivers because I don't have friends. Apparently that is a popular game, though. Helldivers. But yeah, no. I was thinking about Hi-Fi Rush because I've been playing through a bunch of different emulated games and stuff like, I don't know how many people played the Simpsons video game, the one that's just called like Simpsons the Game or something. And it's just a series of like platforming sections. That game honestly looks a lot like Hi-Fi Rush, or I guess Hi-Fi Rush looks a lot like that game, which is real weird. I guess because the both of them are trying to emulate a really, really like cartoony aesthetic. But yeah, as I was replaying through that old Simpsons game, I just kept thinking to myself like, man, why does this look like a Hi-Fi Rush? It makes me almost appreciate Hi-Fi Rush's visuals more, because that old Simpsons game looked really, really dumpy, but they both were trying to emulate a cartoon style. It's just that Hi-Fi Rush actually made it into like its own style and didn't just like go for the really, really generic look.
Like, the levels aren't, like, super amazing or anything, like, crazy to write home about. But they're decently memorable. They're, like, good looking. And again, cartoony without overstaying their, without, like, not overstaying. That's not what I'm thinking of. They're cartoony looking without it just coming across as, like, generic. Like, you know, your generic, oh, it's like a Saturday morning cartoon, right, guys? Another game that tries to emulate, like, a Saturday morning cartoon aesthetic and does it, like, shockingly well, and I'll probably stream this game at some point, is a game called #Blood, which is like this hack and slash dungeon-ish, but mostly it's like a mission-based game about you being a teenage girl that just moved into a new town, and the town is full of vampires. And the art style is like 2D, meticulously hand-drawn animation with this like Saturday morning cartoons vibe to it, leaning a little more on like the 1990s aesthetic than like a more like modern one. And yeah, there's I will admit, #Blood has it's more of like a visual spectacle than it really is a game so far. Like, it's very mission-based, so a lot of the games you just kind of like traipsing back and forth between different locations. The combat itself does feel like really good, but my favorite part is just those visuals. It's such a like fun-looking game. And you know, that being said, I haven't played like enough to really make a huge judgment call, so I don't want to be too judgy just yet. I probably will stream it, and then I can give like my full thoughts on it. I was really impressed with what I'd seen so far. Same thing with the game, The Plucky Squire, if anyone remembers that game. That was like one of those games that's like, it's got a really cool visual style, and it's got like this interesting concept of like, oh, you are a 2D character from a storybook that gets like sent into the real world, so you have this mechanic of like flickering back and forth between being 2D and 3D. That's fun. Yeah, sure. I just like, I was playing like a little bit of it, kind of close to when it came out, and I felt like they could have done more with the mechanic, is all I'm thinking. Like, similar to Legend of Zelda: A Link Between Worlds, how they really use the shit out of Link hopping between all these like different locations with his like go flat against the wall and then you can go wherever you want power. I wish that they just got even more like wild and creative with that mechanic. Because after a while, the game sort of starts to feel like it's just playing the same beats over and over. Not that it's a slog per se, but I think it's like it gets my creative brain a ticking, and I'm just like, maybe they could have done this, maybe they could have done that over and over. Who knows? Maybe I'll play that game on stream as well. Quest to acquire more coffee from the French press is complete. Ooh, a French press. Someone's fancy. Oh, what? Hi-Fi Rush is set to continue. Microsoft sold off Tango to Krafton, PUBG company from South Korea. I mean, just because they're a South Korean company doesn't mean it will be bad, right? Hype for that game, super disappointed by its handholdiness. Oh, sorry, which game? I mentioned both of them. You mean, The Plucky Squire? Ooh. Yep.
Stylinide, you have you have an ear. You got an ear for Digimon. Oh, he does. Ooh, for the PlayStation 1. Whoa. Speedrun Digimon? Is it not like a Pokemon-esque game? Or no, you could speedrun a Pokemon game, right? Or excuse me, a Digimon game. But I am just about done with this page, I think. Yeah, that's everything apart from the from the actual literal background. So great. Okay. Can finally get rid of that layer. And then let's go in and give it a nice little shade. Let's give it some happy trees and a little shade. Ooh. You know, when you really get into speedrunning, it's amazing how many like tricks and manipulations people can pull off. I at some point, I think it was like last year or something, out of pure curiosity, just started looking up speedrun videos. Mostly speedrun videos for like Skyrim and stuff, and people just do like the weirdest shit in order to break the game. Skyrim's probably the best example of breaking the game, because I was watching videos where people were using like glitch strats and really like fucking with the Skyrim engine to like just propel themselves to different points on the map or clip themselves through doors and shit. Ooh. Bowls become one of the best. It was the bowls. Yeah, it was the bowls. That's right. That's something interrogate because they could just clip through walls with them. That was it. That was the thing. Yeah. Nace has some Skyrim. Right on. Right on. Yeah, every now and then I tell myself, like, oh man, I want to give like a speedrun thing a try. But when I really think about it, I'm like, I get so fucking frustrated. I get frustrated when I'm just playing like Neon White. I could not do like all the complexities that go into speedrunning. It's just not my forte. I'm more of like a strategy guy, a lot more like fine tuning, whereas speedrunning often requires you be a little more like, light on your feet. You want to be really quick to go from like one what would you call it, like one manipulation or glitch or whatever to the next. You got to be quick about it. You got to learn how to do those half A presses I've heard so much about. Oh, yeah. Now, when you say speedruns and glitches in, or rather glitches and tricks in speedruns, when you say that, do you mean like the type of stuff that you could just apply to most games? Or are you saying like specific games have specific manipulations? Because yeah, sure, I mean, I can totally get that. I want this to be
Yeah, I like that. You know, it's so funny. And this is for like Stylenide. This like thing that I've been doing with my art as of late, where I will specifically draw a character with this line under their neck because I want to go back and draw this little like black edge underneath their neck as a sort of like faux shadow. I do this even when there's like color and shading on the character. Because to me, in my brain, it's still like a fun stylistic choice, and I think it still makes the art pop. But, and this is for Stylenide, I initially picked this up when your boy Stu was talking my ear off about how cool it looks. And I remembered at first being all like, well, it's fine if you're doing like black and white art, but if I was going to color it, then I would just like put in a colored shadow, right? You know what though? Time's gone on. I kind of agree. There is something about it that does actually look very striking and fun, even before you put the color down. So yeah, thank you, Stu, for inspiring me. Game specific would be like horizontal, diagonal, spine shark, or shine spark in Super Metroid. That's a game I should stream because I never beat it. but it seems like such a good one, and I love Metroidvania games. Straight jumping or hopping in the Quake series. Oh, okay. Yeah, I guess I know a few like speed run strats in a way, just like quick ways to get through a game because I've just played it so many times. Makes the shadow super bold. It does. I mean, it works especially because I use like, you know, black lines. Other people, there's like lots of artists who will do like colored lines or whatnot. But for me, the outline, for the most part, is going to be like this nice, bold, strong black. So it really adds to it. With my kind of art style, I think it works really well. I think with Stu's as well, it worked well. And he knew it, so that's why he really like stuck to his guns about it. And yeah, I do it to this day. I even have a dedicated black layer for me to lay down all the dark bits. Hello. Oh my god, get your head. I like your vest. I'm drawing and streaming.
Oh, you're streaming.
Hi.
Sorry.
Be not afraid. It's fine. Thank you. I forgot to put my sign up. I usually do. Not that it's a big deal or anything, but... Ooh, got a follow on Blisky. I like Blue Sky because it's Twitter, but not made by a jackass. Alright, I shouldn't say made by, owned by. Ownership and development are two separate things. Okay. Break through a chunkier backlog and acquire less games from this upcoming year. Minus Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii. Is there going to be a Pirate Yakuza in Hawaii? Is that where it takes place? What the fuck? Sonic Sat AM. That's no good. Actually, I think that was the other Sonic. It's fine. It's fine. I also like the Blue Sky doesn't give you notifications. People you don't even. Yeah, right? honestly, like, I've been very happy with Blue Sky. There was a point in time where I was jumping between a bunch of different social medias because I just did not want to do Twitter. Elon Musk aside, I was just like getting fucking nowhere. Like, I would write posts and nobody would respond, and those that would respond were like bots and shit. It was just depressing. Like, that place fucking sucks. There's some people that advertise on Twitter where they're still getting comments and replies and people messaging them and being like, "Hi, I want to commission you," yada yada, you know. And it's like, to those people, fine, yeah. And even they are kind of open about like, yeah, the site sucks ass, but this is like part of my job. This is my livelihood. So it's like, I'm not about to criticize anybody for staying with Twitter, but not me, man. Not me. Blue Sky may not be like perfect or whatever, but my God, it does a lot of things right. One fucking thing that Blue Sky does perfectly that I'm going to be mad at every social media for not inventing it because it's the most obvious shit in the world. Is lists. Like, maybe Twitter had this. I never saw it, but on Blue Sky, you can just make a list of like all of your friends, for example, and then and then you can just go to that list and see what all of your friends have been posting in chronological order. It's not based on like how popular they are. It's not based on like how many whatever the fucks each post has gotten, how many reskeets or whatever. It's just their posts in chronological order, and it's all of your friends because you made the list. That's so good. Like, and I'm mad that I'm so excited that it exists because it's so basic. It's so fucking basic. It's the most basic thing that you could program into your social media. A list? It's like making a folder. But nobody was doing it. That's so stupid. Why was nobody doing it? Oh my God. Dumb. So dumb. But Blue Sky did it. So good. Good boys. Good boys. Pat on the head. Well done. God damn it. You did the bare minimum. Well done. Shit's sake. I love it though. Blue Sky has been a good place for me. I've been getting lots of like, you know, follows and whatnot. People being like really nice. There's like actually people there. It's so cool. It's so good. Yeah, right? Silent Eyed, right? Like, a lot of people don't even really know that it exists. I think some people use lists to like advertise other artists or creators or whatever, but you can just use it to like, you can just use like your list to follow anybody. Like, you can just make a list of like all your friends. You could make a list of all of your porn, and you can make a list of all of like the art people that you follow. You can make a list of all the like news channels that you want to follow, and then just categorize your interests because you can pin them on the homepage, and then you just go to a bunch of them. I have one that's just called like mutuals, and it's just all of my friends because I don't want to miss their post because they're my fucking friends. Oh my gosh. It's so crazy how like just normal that is to have. And it's been disregarded by places like Twitter because it doesn't make them any money. And I'm just like, fuck. I'm just like, fuck. Oh, excuse me. Anyway, them's that. That's my epic rant, kids. Bitches. Quickly, for $1 million, what's this theme from? What's the game? Oh my god, that's so funny. It's crazy that Yakuza is like starting to just do weird shit now. Well, weird shit beyond the weird shit they were doing before. Composer sounds like Jeremy Soule, but I'm pulling a blank on the game. Definitely ringing a bell. Gotta forfeit my million though. Oh wow, really? I was thinking that that you would that someone would have like gotten it immediately. It was Tomb Raider 2. Although $500,000 for pointing out that it's composed by Jeremy Soule, because I would have never ever known that. Oh, hold on, I'm going back a bit. Oh shit, that's in 35 minutes. Oh damn. Yeah, I should probably wrap up this stream then. Yeah, okay, Mario, alright. You're wrong about the oh, well. You know what? It's fine. I don't even have $1 million. So, whatever. But yes, Mario, yeah. Contact me once you're ready, and I will be too. I will wrap up the stream and then give myself a little bit of time to just, recuperate myself. And then I will be right as rain. Thank you. Gotta get this page done. How many more do I have? Oh, just like 3 more to line. I could probably line this one tonight after the festivities. Ooh, gotta rest my hand a bit. All right, yeah, I streamed for like an hour and a half. That's fine. That's fine for getting some work done. All right, farewell, everyone. Thank you for coming to the stream. Stylenite, it's lovely to see you. Our timelines do not usually match up very well, so it was good to actually catch you this time. Oh, great. If you got time, message me. I'm usually able to make some time around like this time zone because my work usually starts like much earlier in the morning. So yeah, let me know. Appreciate you, Illuminati, for lurking, being my favorite lurker. Orphle, I love ya. Do you play Resident Evil Gaiden on Game Boy? Oh yeah, I could. You want me to stream that at some point? I could do that. I've never played that before, so might be a game to try out. Maybe I'll write that down for later. But yeah, okay. I'm out of here.